Yo, what is up, guys? And today I'm going to be going through week 2 of the college football season. I'm going to be taking you through pretty much everything that happened throughout the course of last weekend and just discussing my thoughts and reactions to those games. So I hope you guys are having a great day, as you should be. And yeah, we'll get into it. Um when I talk about week 2 this past weekend, I don't think I can start anywhere else but the NIU Notre Dame game, unfortunately. If I have any Notre Dame fans watching this, hopefully I don't, but you know, it is what it is. So NIU got paid 1.4 million, I think is what I saw, 1 point something million to go to South Bend and play and ultimately, as we know, beat Notre Dame 16-14 while only scoring one touchdown the whole game. So what does that tell you? Notre Dame's offense is clearly not where it needs to be. But the thing that just doesn't make sense for me is just how, I mean, the offense wasn't great against Texas A&M, but they scored 23. And last Saturday they scored 14 against NIU, who I would at least have to assume has a weaker defense than Texas A&M, but I can't really confirm or deny that, I guess, because Notre Dame beat Texas A&M in College Station and then lost to NIU the next week. So, uh big props to NIU head coach Thomas Hammock, but I feel like people need to pump the brakes on them being like a CFP contender. I just don't know if I'm ready to say that yet. I could easily see them falling in the next few weeks. I think they have NC State next weekend, so that should be a good game for sure. Texas and Michigan, well, that also, well, not also, but it wasn't very close. Michigan's offense concerns me for that team's perspective. Uh, the quarterback situation is discouraging, to put it nicely, I think. Whoever it is, Warren, Alex Orgy, like, it's gotta be figured out. Gotta be figured out at some point. Otherwise, I mean, they have USC next weekend, I believe. I think right now, if they play like they did against Texas, especially because it's at USC, I think they lose that. I think they do. So, Michigan's offense has got to get it figured out and quick. Staying in the Big Ten has just not been impressive. If you guys saw the video that I made preseason about the Big Ten, I gave you 4 teams who I thought were obviously going to be the top 4 contenders. And of those 4, Michigan got smoked by Texas. Penn State just struggled with Bowling Green at home in their home opener. And Oregon, I don't know what's going on with Oregon, but they have struggled mightily in both games. And okay, Boise State, before we get too harsh about that game, I think Oregon is miles more talented than Boise State. I think that's probably a pretty fair, and I don't think that's a statement that's like up for debate. But I Oregon should be playing way better than they are right now for the talent level that they have. I mean, they're just way too talented. The offense put up 37 points. I mean, the defense, I told you about Ashton Genty, and right now, I mean, I think legitimately, he is probably the Heisman frontrunner right now. I mean, he literally has 9 rushing touchdowns in 2 games. 9 rushing touchdowns, and I think almost 500 yards on the ground to go up with that. I mean, it's insane what Genty is doing, especially on a group of five team. Not a weak one, but a group of five team nonetheless. So the Big Ten hasn't impressed me at all. The top two teams in that conference right now, Ohio State, and I would put USC in there. I would put USC in there. No one else has really impressed me. Iowa lost to Iowa State, which was also disappointing. They were ahead the whole game and lost their lead for the first time. I think it was Iowa State's first lead with seconds remaining. I don't think it was a buzzer beater, but with seconds remaining on the clock, Iowa State kicked a, I don't know what it was, but I think it was like at least 50-yard field goal to win the game ultimately. I think Iowa State could be a solid team this year for sure. Um, and this is not to say, I mean, I picked Iowa to win the game originally, so I'm not trying to like backtrack on what I said in week two, but I kind of am at the same time. So that's it for that one. Tennessee, NC State. I don't know what to say. I was really looking forward to watching Grayson McCall play for a different system. We saw what he could do his I think it was his freshman year at Coastal Carolina, and Coastal Carolina was undefeated with him at quarterback up until the bowl game when they lost to Liberty, and that Liberty team had Malik Willis at quarterback. So, you know, I mean, I was excited to see what Grayson McCall could do in that NC State system. Um, I don't know what has happened, but NC State has just looked very poor, and they're nowhere near a top 25 team right now. They're going to have to do so much to get back in the top 25. They're going to have to win several straight games. Um, some teams, again, just struggled. Talked about Penn State, Oklahoma State. Man, Alan Bowman, for as long as he's been in college, what, 7 years now? I mean, he's been at Texas Tech, Michigan, now OK State. They struggled for sure, and I think Arkansas is okay, but I don't think they're that great. I mean, I don't know. These are just my thoughts. Also, Ollie Gordon hasn't been as good as maybe we thought he would be. I think he maybe struggles in big games against tougher teams. Arkansas, though, is not like a strong team that would come to mind right away. So, um, it's just interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the Big 12. They have a big challenge next weekend, I think, against Utah, so that'll be a big game. Shout out to Illinois. Maybe I should have mentioned them in the Big Ten. Illinois took down Kansas, and then I just a few minutes ago watched Kansas lose to UNLV. Um, I would also like to take accountability for mentioning Kansas as a sleeper team in the Big 12. I think all of my sleeper teams I have just sabotaged, and they're all playing really poorly right now. I mean, I think I said Virginia Tech, SMU, they've both lost. So, you know, maybe I'm not meant for picking sleeper teams, but it is what it is. Alabama struggling, obviously, with USF. Nebraska taking care of business. A bit sloppy in the second half, but the first half was incredible. Um, it was interesting to see Shadur leave the field 2 minutes before the game ended. It was also interesting. I don't know if you guys saw, but apparently there was a truck that got onto Folsom Field which is the home of Colorado. So just an off-topic rant there. But yeah, those are some of my thoughts about week two. Miami won over Florida A&M. If anyone was wondering, I don't think anyone was wondering, but it's fine. So yeah, that's all I've got for this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.